going on with the south end zone?
South end zone. That's going to be interesting too. We play on field turf. 120 yards, runs north and south. We're going to have a field turf field in the south end zone running east and west, which is really going to be part of like a kid's zone on game day. So it's going to be an area that can be pre-game activities, kids. I'd say eventually probably can have all kinds of things, and I don't want to speak for Fred, but it's going to be part of the game day experience. And you know, from a visual standpoint on TV, it's going to look good. It's going to be active. It takes the place of those old bleachers that were down there, so it's going to be nice and clean. And from a selfish standpoint, for practice, it gives us another, I don't know how many yards of field to practice in. And when we practice in the stadium, the linemen always are a pain in the neck. You win games with the linemen, but they got to push sleds around and stuff, and then the quarterbacks and receivers get mad, and you're running into it. So we can send them out there in the south end zone, and they're going to get a lot of work done too. So it's going to have a completely different look to it. Yes, sir?
Curious about backup quarterbacks.
Yes.
Can you tell us about who's back?
You got any ideas? we have two guys that I think are good. I don't like talking about freshmen a lot, but we have Adam Follett is a redshirt freshman. He's a big kid from up in Michigan who is a really good thrower, and he's learning the offense. Spring practice, it's always different when a kid redshirts, particularly a quarterback, and then they go out and have to practice in spring. They have to run it themselves. It's always different. It's a little bit like you hear about these rookies in the NFL camps. You know, they got all the things. All of a sudden they got to run the offense when the defense is flying around. It's a little bit different. So he went through that a little bit, but he's very talented. We got a kid named Teddy Shell from up here in Barrington that really made good progress this spring. So both those guys are big, strong kids that have worked hard. And then we've got two freshmen coming in. And again, I don't like, a freshman's got to prove himself. Now we tell them all kinds of things when we recruit them, but now in August, they got to prove themselves. But Dusty Keel and Ed Wright Baker, who I think are both different kind of kids than we've been able to recruit. And Dusty's been there. Dusty came, I don't know how he got this done. He's a really good student out of Columbus East. He graduated like at spring break. I don't know how you do that. But he came, he was in first summer session at our place. So he's been there since the first week of May, working all summer. Then Ed's in second summer session. He came middle of June. So we got two pretty good freshmen there too as well. So, we'll kind of see as we go how that all plays itself out. But I like each of them. I really do. Yes, sir?
Yes, could you explain a little bit of the pistol offense?
Yeah, it's a catchy term is really what it is. It's like, I've said, all along, it's not the pistol formation, it's the bullets you have in there. And that was really the question I had before about who our quarterbacks are. That's the key to the whole thing. All it is, football has, particularly high school and college football, evolves about every 10 or 15 years. Pro football looks the same today as it did, 20 years ago. Everybody runs the same formations, same defense, same terminology. They have free agents, they trade. College is unique in that you can do your own thing. Well, I don't know how many years ago everybody went to the spread of the shotgun. And it's funny, when you go out and recruit now, you see very few quarterbacks take a snap from center. Everybody's in the gun. Centers are more accustomed to snapping. I mean, it's kind of the fundamental way that kids grow up playing nowadays. So all the pistol does is gives you a chance to snap the ball in the shotgun, but still run plays that you traditionally run with the quarterback underneath center. So that's really all it is. It's a catchy term and it looks a little bit different, but in the coaching it's not a whole lot different. But what it does, we've been in the spread, and I really believe this. We were a true spread team, and I think defense has caught up with the spread. And you got to stay one step ahead. We felt like we had to get more multiple. And to get more multiple, we had to run the ball better, and we use the term downhill. The spread is everything side to side. We needed to go at people. And so we were going to put them underneath the center. Then we went and studied Nevada and how they were doing this out of the pistol. And they give you some misdirection that you don't have from underneath the center. So we like it. But number one, it's going to be able to run the ball better. And two, we're going to have play action pass where we think we can throw it over top. If you can force a team to run, or to stop the run, then you got a chance to play action pass. And so there'll be, we'll still be in the spread a little bit, but this fits our personnel a little bit better. Anything else? Yeah, Jamie.
You guys named the captains yet, or I was just curious?
No, what we do with captains, we get into camp, and we go, generally, you know, every schedule is a little bit different, but we'll go 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks, the players will vote on the captains. Now, the new freshmen don't vote, because we feel like, you know, earning the right to be a captain evolves over the off-season, the winter, the spring, the summer, the 6 o'clock in the morning workouts, all that. And sometimes the freshmen don't really understand who did the leading at that point. So at that point, we'll vote on captains, and they'll be elected at that time. Yes, sir.
What are your expectations for Jeremy Finch?
You know, he's just got to keep getting better. You know, I think that's you know, it's kind of all part of the recruiting world we're living in today. That with all the rating systems and the stars and all that stuff, and who ends up recruiting a guy and all that, that sometimes guys are bigger than life. And so obviously he was recruited by some pretty good people, ends up at Florida. Well, just because a guy ends up at Florida doesn't make him, you know, so anyway, he came back, and it's been an adjustment period for him. And people, you know, I know are saying, how in the heck can you not start a guy that played at Florida? Well, come on down to practice and spend 3 or 4 days and watch Austin Thomas and Nick Polk play, and then watch practice tape every day. You know, we're going to make decisions off that. You know, we're going to play who are the best football players and the guys that give us the best chance to win. So he's progressing. He's learning what coverages are versus what he did in high school. And when he went there, he didn't play safety. They moved him to a linebacker. So, you know, it's kind of all part of the development. But he's still with us, and I certainly hope that he keeps progressing and developing and becomes a good football player for us. Yes, sir.
What are your feelings on a 12-team in the conference and the future of the conference? Possibility.
Well, it's probably the thing of the future. You know, I think in all honesty, I would think that it's heading in that direction. You know, the whole key is finding the right 12th team. And it's, let me say it in a better way, it's not the right 12th team, it's the right 12th university. You know, when you join the Big Ten, it's bigger than football. And to be a Big Ten institution, you've got to meet all the requirements that all of us in the Big Ten expect. And sometimes there's a flashy name that, well, they compete well, and then all of a sudden you could have a championship football game and all that. Or you can balance out the basketball schedule in the winter. But it's not that simple. You've got to find the right institution. And, you know, our commissioner keeps us abreast at all our meetings, and I'm sure, but I don't know of anyone on the landscape out there. Do I think eventually that'll probably happen? I would assume it probably would at some point. Certainly the championship game is big in college football. Now, that's selfish from a football standpoint. Yes, sir. Cut me off here anytime you want. I see some people out there nodding off. Starting with my wife back there.
What's the team's goal come November?
Goals come November? We're going to do the same thing every year. We're going to start out, and our goal is to win the Big Ten championship. And people look at you and roll their eyes. It's funny, the Big Ten Network was doing recapping tremendous seasons of Big Ten football, and they were doing 1995. And those of you up here in Chicago, remember that was the year Northwestern came out of nowhere and won the Big Ten championship. That's always going to be our goal. Now, there's a lot of things we have to do to get there. I mean, I'm not sitting here, but what we don't do, and I think we've done a good job of this, and everybody else wants to do it, but I think it's real important that it's a real cliche. We got to take care of the little things and do the little things right and get better and play that first game. And then we got to play that second game, and then we got to play that third game. Because what happens is, and this is all of college football, we only get so many games. You know, that's one thing about college basketball. Now, they can have a tough December, and they got a whole January or February to bounce back. Football, you know, you got to take care of business week by week, and what everybody does, and everybody's done that with our schedule. Well, we got a chance to win that one, and we can't win that one, and that's a loss.